Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Testing. One, two, three. Test, test, test. All right. Hopefully, I don't have a echo here. I've been having some issues getting on both TikTok and here at the same time. Anyway, hey guys, it's Bruce. Welcome to Combo Courses Podcast. And today, I'm going to once again release a free book. Right now, if you're interested, there's a cloud book. Um, Essentially, this is my journey into getting into AWS cloud since last year. um Actually a little bit before last year, 2024. I started getting into studying for cloud on my own. I just started studying my butt off, and what I did was, in my studies I was able to attain an AWS certified cloud practitioner, which is a fundamental low level cloud course. And as I was getting that course, as I was going through it, doing the exam, studying for it, going through different resources, talking to different influencers online, learning as much as I could, I was taking notes. What you're seeing on the screen right now is a culmination of my notes. It's not just my notes, but it's also um, comprehensive recordings of me going through different labs. So this is the book right now, and you can get this for free. You might be wondering, like, why is it free? Well, reason why it's free is it's very whenever somebody says something's free, it's usually very selfish, and this is no different. So if you click on the link in description below, it'll take you to a book that's on Amazon. And really, even just clicking on it helps me. Like, any kind of interaction at all helps. But of course, the best thing you can do is buy the book. I'm giving it to you for zero cost right now, as a promotion. It'll be free for the next 5 days. So if you are interested in this kind of thing, or maybe you think, maybe, I'm gonna be interested in the future, download it. It doesn't hurt to download it. It's free on. There's a couple places you can get it right now for free, and that's on Amazon, on KDP, and then you can also get it on, if you're an advanced reader, which you can get access to almost everything I do on there. Because my advanced readers, they take a look at it, like, sometimes before I release it to anyone, they get it. And these are people who just they read a lot, and they review a lot. So I give it to them to give me some notes, some feedback, some stars, some reviews, whatever, right? So that's a kind of a special bunch. But those are the two types of ways you can get it free. Right now, click on the link, you can go get it for free. Anyway, so what's in this book? It breaks down everything you need to know about the AWS CCP. And I've released this a couple times. The on this one is that this is actually two books in one. That's why it's so long, because it's the first part is the exam. It just focuses on, like, what types of things should you study for the AWS CCP exam. It's pretty straightforward. It's not a hard test. It's it's the first test you're going to take. One of the first tests you're going to take for going deeper into AWS and cloud and stuff. And I think it's the great thing about this one is that it prepared me for other cloud stuff. It prepared me to do the AZ900. AZ900 was much easier after doing this because I understood the fundamentals. So it tells you the basic things that you really need to know, and and you can go from there. So this first book is going through each one of the domains that you need to know, things like the actual structure of AWS, how it has regions and breaks those up into availability zones, and what you need to know about those types of things. Some of the technologies that are associated with it, like local zones and um, wavelength zones that link to, like, 5G and stuff like that. It goes into the compute services, of course, the EC2, um, containers, how they do containerization, It's pretty high level. Like I said, it's very straightforward. They're not trying to trick you on the test or anything. That's the great thing about this test, about AWS. It's just this first test is very straightforward. I think the other ones go into a lot more detail about like what are you gonna do, but this one is not like that. So um going forward here, it goes into the storage part of AWS, and then goes into the networking piece of AWS, which is VPCs, and the database. It's pretty high level on databases. You know the difference between the RDS and DynamoDB, and some of the other things you need to know as far as migration. A little bit about AI stuff. It doesn't really go too much into the AI, but they do have some AI features on Amazon's AWS. Security, they touch on security on the test. That's another thing that you'll need to know. This book goes into the monitoring, application integration, how to like building an application, how you can actually use it to Amazon to build your own application. It's not walking you through it. It's surface level, so it's mostly getting familiar with the jargon and the fundamentals, the acronyms, the definitions, what it is. That's it's it's staying at that level. So it's a lot of memorization and understanding the concepts rather than hands-on. The hands-on piece comes in the second book. With the second book, what I'm doing is I'm breaking down the things that I learned, um, the things that I did to get hands on. So let me just go through this whole book here. Let me just take you to that first part. I mean, another thing about the exam is one special thing about it is it has 300 questions, mock questions that you might, types of questions that you might see on the test. You know, obviously it's not the actual test, but it's the types of questions you'll see, and to prepare you for the test. Like it's all about this person is going to take the test, so I'm teaching you so that you understand all the things you need to know. But the great thing about it is when I studied so well that when I took interviews, I was I'm pretty good at the questions. They would ask me any kind of question. I was able to just like rattle it off because the way I studied. Now I'm sharing that with you guys. I mean, another thing I did is I took it a little bit further where I built my own WordPress on AWS. Now you can do this with a click of a button. You know, you can just click a button. You can go to there's actual services on AWS that you can just click a button and then boom, it's there, right? But I wanted to do it manually so I could understand how the compute function works with a database. If you were to set those two up, how do they work together? What kinds of things do you need to do? Because I know WordPress pretty good. I've been using it for years, so I know that there's a PHP front end that has compute, like it's a blog. So there's a front page that you have to do, and it has compute and stuff to run all the PHP code in the front, and then in the back, it's reaching to a MySQL database. It's pulling the data from a MySQL database, and then it's sharing it, all the blog information. So that's how a WordPress works. So I wanted to build that on AWS, so I did, and that's the actual project. That is one project, but I break it down in such a way that it's just very simple, right? Because I mean that's the way I understand things. Like it's like building blocks, like Legos. Take one piece, this piece fits this piece, and that's all I'm doing here. Just keeping it simple. I'm talking about how you got to create security groups, right? You've got to, for the security of the system, and then you've got to set up the MySQL database. You've got to set up the server to connect to the database. And then a lot of the book, to be honest with you, because I built it on a Windows system, uh, a lot of it is setting up the actual IIS. So I probably should have went with Linux on that and set up Apache instead. But anyway, that's the course. I mean, that's the book. It's going to walk you through step by step every piece that you need to do to set this thing up on your own so that you can understand it. What I'm trying to do is help you to understand, like I did, like a way that you can actually explain it to someone else step by step. But by the end of it, you'll understand like how it really works. And the thing is, I help you to do all of this with screenshots for free. You can do all of this for free because Amazon, let me see if I can bring that up. Amazon lets you do this, gives you a free instance for I believe 66 months. It used to be a year, but they've since changed it, unfortunately, um, for us. You get a free, and the first thing I do is show you how to get it for free, how to access it for free, and every part of what I'm doing is free because there is one that is paid. You know what I mean? Like it can, if you don't do it right, then you can end up paying for this. And you don't, when you're starting out, you want to start things out for free or as cheap as possible. So here you go. Like here's my instance right here. It is absolutely free, and I show you how to set that up as well. It's very, this is very simple. This is for people who are beginners like myself, like people just starting off on this. And this right here, it was really, really helpful for me because after that, when I was able to explain what I understand with all this, I was actually able to get a security job, a cloud security job. Like my last job, I mean, as you guys know, I just recently got laid off, but my last job was a cloud security job for a major organization. And it was because I understood this stuff enough. And then the funny thing is, once I got in, it's just not that hard. You know what I mean? It's just especially if you have an IT background. Now, if you don't have an IT background, that's a different conversation. There's a lot of things you need to know. But if you have an IT background, or if you have a good exposure to IT, it's actually this really the same stuff. It's just you're just using somebody else's equipment to do the work. And so, yeah, it's if you want this book right now, it's for free for next 5 days. Even if you're like, well, I don't know, I don't really want to do cloud right now, just download it, just get it. And then if you have it, you have it in your library for later. Like you maybe a year from now, 6 months from now, you're like, man, maybe I should check out this AWS stuff. Or maybe your job starts to go to the cloud and you guys are like, okay, we need somebody who knows this stuff, who knows it. And then you just happen to have my book. You can read through it real quick and walk you through everything. I'm going to also release the video of myself. I recorded myself putting all this stuff together. I just got to edit it, and I'm in the middle of some other things right now, so I need to have the time to like properly edit everything, put it all together. So this is actually going to be a companion to that book, to that course that I'm going to put out on my site. Much of it, I'm just going to put it out for free, once again for free. And I think I have one free version and like one paid version or something like that for the part that so I can recoup some of the stuff I already paid for this. So that's it, guys. Like, if you're interested in this free book, link is in the description below. Link is I put it in our group as well, and I put it in on TikTok, on LinkedIn. It's out there, so just go ahead and click on that. Everything helps. Like when you actually click on that link, the interaction, the Amazon algorithm sees that, and so it kind of boosts up the book. Like just even clicking on it is great. But of course, the best you can do is actually review it, leave a review there, or buy it or whatever. Those are the best ways to support. And I'm going to continue to do this because I see interest in this. I've got other things I would like to put out. So, and I will be putting those things out. So I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks a lot. And I see you guys' comments here. Let me get to that here in a second. Here we go. Enlarge my face here. Okay, let me see. I got some folks jumping on from. Let me see. Somebody asked me, I'm preparing for the CGRC. What is the best way to prepare for it? So CGRC, if you guys are interested in CGRC, we've got a group. Let me just show you guys my screen here. We've got a group, and I've got a professional who put something together on this already. Um, Ryan actually put something together for free. And if you're interested, go to convocourses.com, login.convocourses.com, and you'll see, once you sign up, you'll see different courses on here. And this one right here, the Mango, is a study guide, free study guide for CGRC. Our group is all about helping each other out. So this right here is a study guide that walks you through the CGRC. And appreciate Ryan for putting this out for free. Here's this link right here. Um, I'm anxiously awaiting all the other stuff he's going to put out. I really appreciate stuff like this. It's free resources like this that helped me when I was starting out. So that's why, I want to pay it forward, and that's why I put out so much free stuff as well. I do have paid stuff, like for people who want more time, want more intense study, want more time with me or whatever. There are paid stuff, but 99% of the stuff I put out is free, just like some other awesome people out there, like Professor Black Ops and some other folks that are just trying to put their knowledge out there, and have paid stuff as well. So you can always support. But here's the Mango right here. If you want access to this, you can find it yourself. If you go to, I think if you just go to YouTube and type in the Mango and Ryan, you should be able to find that link on Google or Bing or whatever, wherever your favorite search engine is. Very much interested. Yep, that's it right there. That's the book. He breaks it all down. I have a CGRC myself. It focuses on risk management framework. NIST risk management framework is really good if you're trying to go into GRC space for the federal government and the state government, because they use NIST 800 quite a bit. And if you understand the big picture, that's kind of what they want you to understand for this. So yeah, check it out. There's the link right there. If you want access to this link, you can log into combocourse.com, or just go to YouTube and type in the Mango and type in Ryan's name, and you'll find it. Here he is right here. Here's the link. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I could put this link directly into TikTok, so you don't have to sign in. Let me see. And I believe Ryan teaches on his free time too, so you can actually contact him directly. Let me see. Copy link. I'm gonna try to put this on TikTok real quick. Boom, there it is. There it is right there, and I'll put it on our link too. Oh, it doesn't allow me to do that. But yep, there it is. Let me see. I got some more comments here. Hey, Turbo Maniacal, how you doing, man? I'm here before Larry. Let me see here. Thank you guys for showing up. Always appreciate you guys' support. Thanks for a CCP book. You made it available yeah. So, um, so you got it the first time I made it available, and I passed CCP using this as a study guide. No shit, damn, that's great, man. That's great. That's awesome to hear. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would like to. I'm gonna put out a lot more stuff this year. Um, I've got some stuff, some irons in the fire that I'm working on. It takes me a minute to get this stuff to put it together, because I'm not just, I want to put out something that is accessible, and something that's clear, and something that's accurate. So sometimes it takes me months to put stuff out, and that's why sometimes I'll just disappear off the face of the earth, because I'll be working on stuff like that. That's my favorite thing to do, is to write and create things like that are comprehensive. So they just take a while to do, so, and I'm trying to go faster. I mean, luckily with AI I can go a little bit faster now, so I should be able to crank out some more stuff. I've got, just to let you guys know, like, I got I'm gonna re-release the NIST 800 risk management framework ISO foundations course. I'm gonna I'm working on that right now. Something real special I'm putting together. Um, Another thing is I got a HIPAA guide I've been sitting on for a long time. I've just been sitting on it, and I need to put that out. Um, so those are a few things, and of course the AWS course that is actually already in its raw form. I just need to edit it and stuff, so I'll be doing that too. What time do you do this? Somebody from LinkedIn said, "What time do you do this?" I do this on Saturdays at 12:30 Mountain Standard Time. If there's a change in when I'm gonna do it, I'll usually notify my group or I'll put it out in my newsletter. But if you want to follow what I'm doing, you can go to combocourses.com where you can sign up for the newsletter or you can sign up. The best way to know what's going on is to sign up for the group where we're talking all week long. We'll just like something will come up and we'll put it out. Or if we're working on something, I know Ryan was working on like a real cool a new book that's going to break down the Security Plus, and he put down like he's literally putting it together and he'll put it out. Hey guys, like check this out. Or I've got some folks that people way not more knowledgeable than me that have way more like time in this field. Um, and they'll put out free stuff for people, just help people out, or if you have questions, some people will chime in, and I really appreciate people like that's jumping in, like security expert. He's in there. I believe he has worked for Fang, like Facebook, Google, those type Netflix, those types of people. PBO in the house. How you doing, PBO? Professor Black Ops. It's one of the guys who originally inspired me to go to finally dip my toe in and really get into a cloud security. And I really appreciate all of his amazing advice. Yeah, PBO also, if you guys want to check him out, Professor Black Ops. He is on YouTube as well and puts out similar content, just where it's interactive and you're talking to him directly. He'll do like lives and stuff. If you like that format, that's like this, then that's another place to get some good information. Other folks that's really good to check out as far as GRC stuff. Tech Woke, Chris at Tech Woke is really good. Does really talks to really talented folks, and he's up and coming. Like I have no doubt that guy's gonna blow up. So that's another dude that to check out. Let me see. Somebody said, I'm studying Linux stuff, right? I'm studying Linux admin stuff. That's great. Yeah, Linux is a must have. The deeper you get into this, the more you at some point you're gonna have to touch Linux systems. I mean, if you think about it, most of our infrastructure, in the banking industry, in the networking space, is on Linux. Like most of the back end of everything we do is on some variant of Unix or Linux. And I mean, I know everything mostly like when we're talking or whatever, a lot of folks are on Windows, but the back end, like your bank, more than likely, the transactions that are happening, that's usually Unix or Linux and stuff, like the actual infrastructure in the background. I remember when I was a network admin, and you have to go into the back end of the terminal. When I was doing it, it's all command line stuff. Back in the day, I don't know how it looks now, but it was Linux. It was based off of a variant of Linux. It was the routers on Cisco devices, the routers on Juniper devices, the back end of like firewall devices. It's all either Unix or Linux or something. And Linux is actually based off of Unix, so some variant of Unix. So you got to know that the more you know about Linux, the better, especially the command lines, because that comes in handy. Like if you're doing scripting, um, and more, like they're having us GRC professionals do stuff like that. Like more and more of the jobs are having us do more technical stuff, which I welcome it. I know that most people get into this space specifically because it's not like as hands on, and it still won't be, to be honest with you. But when you dip your toe into this, the more you know about the command line, about doing queries or running commands and stuff on the back end, the better. because the tools that we use often use some sort of command line. Let me see. Which site do you use for contracting? Um, so any kind of contracting work I've done, it's like on a 1099 where there's no benefits. They just hire me directly, which I've done. Um, have come from just job like me putting myself on job site on sites like on LinkedIn, on Indeed, and Monsters. Nothing really fancy, to be honest with you. They'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, we've got this contract we want you to do. You'll be working these hours. Are you interested? Here's the rate, and then I'll do 1099, and then ironically, this channel right here, sometimes people reach out directly to me and say, "Hey, Bruce, do you know how to do this? Like, I have this issue. We need this document written or whatever," and they reach out to me directly, and then I'll have some contracting work like that. So it's about your brand, like getting yourself out there. You know what I mean? It's like really just getting yourself out there. When people say brand or whatever, you know, it's really just putting your name out there, and letting people know what you can do, and that level of exposure will get people to reach out to you and get you some work. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. I have I've tried work on freelance contracting so far, and it doesn't work. I've also put myself out like on Upwork or like sites like that, and I don't have as much interaction. I don't have much traction on those sites. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just kind of messing around with it to see if it works or whatever, because I'm always open to new things. But I haven't had any kind of luck with those sites, so I'm with you on that. But Monster and Indeed and LinkedIn and sites like that, just regular contract work, you know, that's most of the people I've contact that are contacted me or that I've gotten jobs from has been or other businesses, corporations and stuff. It's been from that, just put myself out there. Let me see. I got another one. Somebody says, yes, GRC engineer. Jan is that guy. Okay, let me see if there's any other things I missed on here. I appreciate you guys' comments. Thanks a lot. Um, Hi, how do I access this book? So if you want to access the book on TikTok, um, if you look right here on TikTok, you'll see that's the book right there. If you go to Amazon, you can search that name. But if you go into my profile, the link is there. So the profile link will take you straight there. It'll take you to a link tree page, and then you'll have the link there to take you to the book. So that's one way to get it. And right now, like I said, it's for free for a limited time for the next 5 days. I do this as a promotional thing. It really helps me a lot. It helps increase all the sales of my other books. Like what's weird is that whenever I release a new book, all the other books in my library, all the books I've ever written, like suddenly other people start buying those books. So just letting you guys know that I have a book, and you guys going there and clicking the link or giving me 5 stars or anything like that, downloading it, whatever you do on Amazon, it helps a lot. Like all the other books that I sell, like start selling. I don't know how that works, but that's what happens. So the more I promote it, the more sales I get. And I appreciate everybody's input. And if you guys didn't know, like recently, I got laid off in beginning of December, and I've been looking for a job right now. I mean, it's a really horrible time to get laid off before. And the reason why is because the contract, they start letting people go on the whole contract, like across. So it's like 100 or 200 of us just got let go, just like that, right before Christmas, right? And I'm not sure like why they decided to do that. That was not a very human thing to do, but it is what it is. That's the thing about contract work is it comes and goes. So, and I'm looking for work right now, and I just want to say I really appreciate I really appreciate all the folks that have been reaching out to me. I don't know if I could say really names. I mean, one of them was Ryan, but some other folks have reached out and said, "Hey, man, we got this job here," or "Hey, man, we got this job here," and I know how this works. There's no guarantee that I'll get that position, or maybe something else comes along and I take that or whatever. But I really appreciate you guys attempting to help me. Um, that that shows me like somebody's got my back, and I really appreciate that. It's rare these days, but I really appreciate all the folks who've been reaching out and trying to help me. I'm being blackballed in this space. No, no, it's nothing like that, man. It's it's how the contracting stuff works. I work for the executive branch, and it's volatile, man. I know how this works. So I've been doing this a long time. Whenever a new management comes in, a new president, it shifts everything. Like stuff starts moving this way and that way, and they start it does. I've never seen it like this before. I will say that. Like this is pretty extreme. Um, and the stuff they're doing is like working in the executive branch, like having done this my entire adult life from the military. You don't always agree with what they do. You know what I mean? You don't always. Some of it's pretty out there. You know what I mean? So it's very volatile. It's contracting work. You can have a contract last for some time, and then the prime lets you go. You're a subcontractor to the prime. Something changes with them, and then suddenly they got to let some people go, or they change directions. So it's the nature of the beast. I don't think it's some kind of conspiracy or anything. Um, I do think it has something to do with they're just going in a different direction on how they want to do things. The last place that I worked, I did really disagreed with how they were doing things, and so I left. So I took a huge risk by leaving that place, and was able to get land a cloud position, and that was going really well. I really loved working there, and the cloud stuff was really fun for me. I had a great time doing it, but unfortunately, it was very short lived. The cool thing about it, the positive thing, is that I'm getting I'm starting to see, people are reaching out, and I'm doing interviews and stuff like that, and and talking. So something good will happen to come out of it, you know. So I'm pretty excited about that. And there's some cloud positions that are reached out as well as GRC positions. So I'm sure I'll get something here real soon. I'm very confident with that. That's the great thing about. I know. I mean, as much as it sucks that this happened, I'm still very optimistic and positive about cybersecurity because there's a huge need. There's still a gigantic need for cloud and cybersecurity, and it's an organization will ignore cybersecurity at their own risk, and especially the more important their information is, the more critical it is that they hire folks to protect it. And seeing an organization from the inside, I know how badly they need um, I know how badly they need cybersecurity. So I'm absolutely certain and positive that I'll get something real soon. Somebody said Leidos may be hiring remote cloud security starting in March. Oh, that's awesome. There's a few other organizations that are going to pick up hiring like in that time frame too. Somebody said, "Can you get a job by following ISC2 and getting their search?" Yeah, so that's another thing that's a huge help for me is I have ISC2 certs. I have the CISSP and I have the CGRC, and their certs are really good. Like there's different certification bodies out there, and not all of them are the same. Like they're they're not all the same. But ISC2, there's a few others, IC2, ISACA, that are really, really good. Like they have some of the best certifications in the game. Um, The way they market it is really good, right? Not just their marketing, but the criteria for the cert is is high level, um, and they've done a good job um, of not doing promotions that are beneath them, for lack of a better word. Because there's some organization, I'm not gonna name them, that the way that they promote their stuff is kind of questionable. But ISC2 has been very professional and has maintained that reputation for a long time. And certs is not just, just so you guys know, certs is not the only way to get positions and jobs and stuff. Experience always comes first, and certs is kind of something to help you check a box. A lot of times organizations will say, okay, we have to have somebody with a CEH. We have to have somebody with a C risk. We have to have somebody with this cert or that cert, So a lot of times you can, and sometimes if you have enough experience, you can get around all that stuff. I mean, like I said, my mentors, like, they didn't have certs or degrees. So they just had straight up experience. So you don't it's I just want you guys to know, like, you don't have to, if you're new to this, it's not just about the certifications, you know what I mean? I just want to make that very clear. Security expert says volatile is the perfect word to describe consulting these days. You'd be in you'd be in one day and then suddenly out the next day. Yeah, so, and that's another thing. I try to go back to my old consulting role at an old company I was at, and they said, yeah, it's volatile right now. Right now, like, they're going through like a hiring freeze. So, yeah, until the economy is not doing anything to help the job market, it's a little shaky right now. I mean, I'm glad to see it starting to pick up after the holidays. So that's I was a little concerned for a minute there, because it was not looking good. Your boy was freaking out a little bit. December was rough, bro. Um, Paul says, I've been thinking about cybersecurity and I've heard about GRC, but I don't know what it's about. Um, and he says Paul here has a DevOps background, and I'm hoping to transition into cybersecurity. Well, that's perfect. For if you've been in DevOps, you might want to consider DevSecOps, because having a very good understanding from the inside of how DevOps works, use of GitHub and the whole DevOps lifecycle, getting software from the beginning stages of meeting requirements all the way to the production stage in a secure way, is what DevSecOps does. And so you have a lot of what a DevSecOps person needs, which is to understand how DevOps itself works, the CI/CD type uh, piece of that is very important. All the tools. You probably have exposure to like Jenkins and I don't know what other tools, commit and git and all that kind of stuff. You already know how all that stuff works. DevSecOps takes it a little bit another step forward, in that the security piece on that, how to keep all that pipeline from beginning to end, like how to keep that secure. Whether it's having something that you have to scan the source code to look for secrets. It's simple things, right? Like for you, like that would be a quick add-on for you, because it's probably stuff you already do. Um, Scanning, you're scanning using SAST tools, scanning using DAST tools, where you're looking at the source. Once the engineer writes the code, you'll have another tool that will scan that data, scan the source code to make sure that there's no logic that can be exploited. And then you're scanning for secrets, like making sure that the private API keys are not inside the code or something, that has proper encryption. when it does go from point A to point B, making sure that the code, the library of all the files that you need to write the code is secure, and only certain people have access to it. Those are the types of things that you could do as a DevSecOps. You might want to look into it. DevSecOps is something I would highly recommend that you do. And another thing to search is AppSec. If you have a DevOps background, you should really look into what I'm saying, because that bleeds into GRC stuff, by the way. So that stuff includes GRC. GRC, if I can give you like a quick 3-minute explanation of what it is, it's governance, risk management, and compliance. Governance is making sure that everybody in the organization is doing what they're supposed to do in accordance to the organization's policies. Those policies are usually based off of some sort of industry standards. Um, that's management type stuff, project management, program management, making sure everybody's in alignment, doing what they're supposed to do. And then you have the risk management. That's the scanning piece, the type of stuff I was telling you about, like where you're doing SAST scanning or DAST scanning or looking for secrets inside of the code, stuff like that. You're trying to manage the risk by eliminating vulnerabilities that might be baked into the code, right? And then you got the C, which is compliance. This is what most people think when they think of GRC. Um, and that's just making sure that you're within that industry's governing regulations. A quick one to understand, that I could explain, like to give you the best example, will probably be like retail. If you are designing some DevOps tools or some software for a retailer, and you guys had to use credit cards, you have to make sure that that code is in compliance with PCI DSS, which is a set of rules to make sure that your code is secure and protecting credit card information. So there's different GRC industry rule standards and rule standards and matrices that will break down how that organization should behave. Federal government has the NIST 800, healthcare has HIPAA, retail has PCI DSS, and on and on. Right? There's all these different standards. What the cool thing is, once you understand one really well, the others start making a lot more sense. And there's some that are really large, like the NIST risk management framework. NIST 800 is just gigantic, so it kind of covers so much ground that if you know that one, you can. And then other ones, NIST CSF, if you know those, it brings everything, kind of fits into a puzzle inside of those, because it's just so massive. So um Paul, look up DevSecOps and AppSec. All right, let me see. Larry, my man Larry says, given your current experience, have your opinions changed on contracting work over GS work within the federal government? What about private sector cuts? Is there a difference? If there is there a difference anymore? Um, this is so. I would say, Larry, given like there has been a huge change. Like, I'm not gonna. I gotta be honest. Like, there's definitely been a shift in what's going on. The government, before, what I was saying is that it was like the one of the safest bets. Like, if you're a family guy, you're retiring, you're chilling, um, you want stability, right? Not chilling in that you're not doing work or whatever, but chilling in that you're not worrying about your job. You're just you go to work, maybe it's gonna help you with your total active duty time. Maybe you were in the military or whatever. GS work was the way to go. Now, because of what's happening with the government, like they're just letting people go. They had Doge in there. Just, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know. I'm just got to be honest. I don't know what they're doing. Having been in several administrations, like, it hasn't been like this. What I will say is that there's no I gotta say there's no safe jobs, what in this whole experience and like everything's happening even right now, one of the best things, thank God, that I did that I've been doing for years is having other sources of income. Um, and so what I would encourage people to do is have another source of income that's not employment. I'm not telling you don't do GS. I'm not telling you don't do contracting work, but I'm just saying like what this taught me was how important it is that my second income is, because they just willy nilly just let us go like nothing. And I was on a pretty important system. So I don't know what to say. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna do contract work anymore. I've been doing it so long that I'm very attractive to some employers and to some organizations out there, right? I could make an organization myself and bid for a contract. I might get a subcontract. Like I just been doing this a long time, and I click a lot. I've checked off a lot of boxes in my years. So I'm not saying I'm not, I'm not saying I'm never going to do GS work or I'm never going to do contracting work. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, y'all, it's really important that we have another income stream. Um, for me, that looks different for every person. For me, that looks like I have another income from Airbnbs. It does all right, right? It's not like fucking, I'm not a millionaire or anything. You know what I'm saying? And then I do books. Like it's just a passion of mine. I really love to create and write. Like I really love to do that. Luckily, it's something I really love to do, and it's something I've been able to profit from and do like on my spare time, and something that I get, like the feedback I get of people saying, "Man, your book helped me to do this and that," or bro, sometimes another organization, a legit organization will contact me and say, "Hey, we want to buy 15 of your books because we're going to use it to teach this class." Man, I'm like, "What?" I can't even process it and believe that. It makes me it's awesome. What I'm trying to say is I'm going off a beaten path here, but but it's really important that all of us have some other stream of income, because with all the changes happening, I can't sit here and tell you GS is as safe as it used to be. I don't think it is. Contracting work never been safe. It's always been pretty volatile. Um, and even the private sector is going through some things right now. The changes include government, and not just our government, but governments everywhere are just going through some kind of massive changes where they're doing stuff completely different that seems to be influenced by the economy, and capitalism changing. Um, so that's one huge aspect that's shifting the whole ground on how everything works. Um, AI obviously is a huge impact that's right now happening. I'm not one of these people saying, "Oh, it's gonna take all the jobs and stuff in this in 2 years or something." I don't want to be an alarmist like that. I think that it's a more nuanced conversation, right? Then it's gonna 100% take all the jobs. I mean, I just think there's more to be discovered about what is going to happen. The thing is, nobody knows what's going to happen with it. That's the scariest part. The scariest thing is nobody really knows, right? There's all speculation about what they think is going to happen, but nobody really knows. So there's that. It's volatile. It's all shaking. Loyalty by, and then man, loyalty. There's no like loyalty anymore. There's no. It used to be that a company would be loyal to you, like you would espouse, they had some sort of like, this is many years ago. It's not like that anymore, you know. So I just don't, just have whatever decision you make. Here's what I'll say, Larry. Whatever decision you make, whether you used to stay in the GS position or contract work, have some sort of side serious side hustle that has another stream of income, because it just seems like being an employee is not as stable as it used to be. It's less. It's even less stable than when our parents were out there, right? Like we already know, like it's not as stable as when they were when they were our age, younger. But now it's even less. Like recently, all this has changed, and I don't think it's like I can't attribute that just to MAGA or whatever, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's the one thing. I think that there's some kind of shift happening all at once on multiple platforms that's making it that employee being an employee status is just not what it used to be. Good, bad, or ugly. Like it's just not what it used to be. So thank God I was already had some other income streams. Not nearly enough, but God knows, but it's something. So whatever you're gonna do, make sure you do that. Have something else going, I would say. Whatever it is. And I'm here, man. You have ideas, man. I'll promote the hell out of it. I'll if it's courses, books, whatever, if whatever I can do to help you to promote whatever you're gonna do to make another income, man. I'm 1000% down. Make a contract, whatever. You know, um, it's just not what it used to be. And then Larry goes on to say, maybe it's fear mongering. Maybe it's loyalty by force. I don't know for sure, but I don't feel like my future is safe or that employer has my best interest as the employee in mind. Yeah. Um, I wish I had better words to say. I wish that I could sit here and say, I don't want to have to say this. I don't like it breaks my heart as somebody who's been an employee, right? To say this, I don't want this to be true, but I think it's more important that we start looking out for ourselves, like as far as our own income, like that we got to do something else. I'm in. Yes, you could still be an employee. It's still a very important piece of our revenue stream, but I think we got to do something else. Like we have to figure out something else because I just don't. It's gotten more volatile over the years, and I think it's going to get even more volatile. You know, that feeling you have, Larry, I have the same thing. Like I'm not just feeling it, it's happening to me. You know what I mean? In my humble opinion, the civilian market income growth as it compares to the relatively stagnant GS pay scale may was intentional to make the government to attribute the government workforce to, okay, and he goes on to say, I believe we will see a massive growth of the government employee income at a point in the future when the government employee levels have stabilized. I hope that this is true, and it seems like there's going to be a shift inside the government GS positions where they do increase the price, where it is more competitive with contracting. It seems like they're trying to do something like that with Tech Force. And I don't know. I'm not sure where all this is going to land, but it definitely is on shaky ground right now. And I don't know where it's going to go, right? And all I'm doing is pointing out something obvious to everyone, which is that things are changing, and and I don't know where this lands. And I'm just being completely honest. I don't know. And then Larry says, I 100% agree. They're they've brought in civilian company workers to my very office and paid them more than our directors. No question asked. What the Meanwhile, our pay is frozen. What in the hell? Unbelievable. The cost of living increase this year for civilian fed workers is the lowest in decades. Wow. I don't know what's going on. It's maybe what's happened. What do you guys think? Like maybe what's happening is the shift is away from government work, and then they're just going to do more like contract work. I know there was a shift like this years ago, and people were panicked about it. Where I remember I was in the Air Force. The Air Force guys, man, we used to do everything. We were the firewall guys. We had Air Force people in uniform working the firewall. They had to send us to a boot camp to learn that firewall. We had close connections with the actual products and the product engineers and stuff. We'd have to put in tickets with them directly. It was all we did. We did the network. We did every part of the network was done by Air Force guy when I first went into comm. And then what happened was they changed it to where they started putting us in other positions and then having hiring like Northrop Grumman or like General Dynamics or Raytheon and these gigantic contracts to come in and replace us. And we were like, yo, what the hell? Like, what's going to happen to us? And slowly but surely, they started like phasing us out, like doing the hands-on stuff. There was less and less of us doing hands-on, and they were bringing in like these contractors. And it got to a point where we were working hand in hand. Like we'd have a contractor here, and then we'd be here, and that was a huge change. And that was as I was getting out. So I don't know whatever came of that. And that was also happening when I was in security police. Security police had the same thing where they were like, they started. I don't think that ever panned out because you can't, you got rules against. I mean, how are you going to have a civilian on a base? What are they going to do? Arrest a colonel or something? Like, how's that work? But I know that there was a change like this before. So I'm not saying any of this to complain, just trying to learn how best to read the tea leaves as someone with less experience humbly. Yeah, I understand. Me too. Listen, we're pointing out changes that we're seeing. Like that's all we're doing. We're just saying, hey, I noticed that this is changing. Like it's not really about us bitching and crying about it. It's more like, okay, things are changing. What do I do now? Well, what direction what direction do I go? I mean, what I'm doing is that has worked is I started to diversify like where I get my income from. I started to do other things that are outside of being an employee. And like it's I'm trying different things, right? You see me like on those videos doing DoorDash. I'm like, I gotta find something like something else. It's not that I don't want to be a cybersecurity. I am a cybersecurity guy, but I'm trying other things, and I don't care what it is. I'm like, okay, what is this like? Will this work? And somebody said, did you get a job? No, not yet. I'm still doing interviews. Thanks for your concern. um, do you think that this applies to all IT fields? I think it's different. I can't speak. I'll put it to you like this, my money. I can't speak for other industries. I'm not in other industries, right? I'm not in hotel restaurant management doing IT. I'm not in healthcare. I have some exposure to consulting. Some of my old coworkers, I talk to them sometimes about that space. I can speak to that a bit of what I've seen, and I worked there for like 3-4 years. Um and I've done it on my own. And I can speak to the government sector. I can't speak on the financial sector. I can't really speak on, and if you guys can, please chime in. I want to know. I'm curious. Like what is happening in these other IT fields? That's a great question. What's happening in the IT in the Google and Meta space? Like what's happening in that space? Like I would like to know. I have no idea. They keep saying, "Oh, AI is taking all the jobs." I mean, I don't know. Is that true? Um, I could tell you in the government space, we're seeing a huge change. We're seeing a gigantic shift in how things work and what's going on, and we don't know where it's going to land. People are getting let go for whatever reason that don't make any damn sense at all. It doesn't seem to make any kind of logical sense at all. Like long term, it doesn't make any sense unless they have some kind of a plan, but we're not privy to those whatever plans that they're doing, right? We just see what you guys see on the news. Like something happens and it's like, oh, okay, something just happened. I didn't know that was going to happen. Like it just is almost as if somebody woke up in the morning and said, hey, I want to do this thing here. And then they just did it. In finance, it's always redundancy. The reason redundancy. Yeah. Like I said, I can't speak to the finance sector. I can't speak to the healthcare sector. I know healthcare seems to be doing pretty good. The healthcare sector seems to be pretty healthy. Just from the outside looking in, I mean, I don't know, but the government sector is it's sick, man. It's going through something. I don't know what, but it's they're going in some kind of direction. Maybe it's like Turbo said, in that they I mean, I think Turbo and Larry kind of hinted on something. The safest job is the safest job is the job you create for yourself. I'm an Air Force vet. I've worked as a GS and a contractor, and I will not go back to GS. They're trying to privatize the government. And then Larry says, this is an interesting conversation. And Larry says, I agree. Sounds awesome. Just trying to put one foot in front of the other. In my opinion, GS work doesn't actively promote upward mobility or diversification of skills. Seems like a while it felt like it seems like while it felt like the world is burning inside of the federal government, tech outside seems a bit more rational, moving as the money moves. Oh, I see what you mean. It does seem like some of the decisions that they make seem very political on the inside, right? And as a contractor, right, I'm looking kind of up at a mountain. Like there's stuff happening, those decisions that happen up there kind of trickle down and then hit me. And by the time it hits me, right, they let 100 of us go. Or they bought all this other equipment, or they're going to train us on this other stuff. But that stuff up there sometimes doesn't make any sense. And I without going into any details, I mean, I might get employed back somewhere to these places. I really can't say much, but some of the decisions they make, even when I'm talking about other technical peers, and we're like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just seems straight up political. And it's very frustrating, whereas working in the private sector was different. Like in the private sector, it's pretty straightforward. If we don't have business, we can't hire more people. If we can't get business, if we can't secure a client, we cannot hire more people. We have to do a reduction in force because we don't have the money to pay everyone. I mean, simple as that. Like, we need to make more money to hire more people. Like, it's very straightforward in the private sector, which I appreciate. All the politics and stuff in the internal, like, it really gets on my nerves, and it's one of those things that I really never got used to working for the federal government. I never liked it. I don't like being involved with it. I'm there to work and do a job, and then when it is interrupted by stupid decisions that are obviously political, it's very frustrating for me. And I try not to get involved. I just go in, put my head down, do my work. But because at the end of the day, it's about protection, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data in the public sector, right? Or if you of your bank or whatever organization I'm working for. And it does not. There's nothing political about just protecting your information, right? I just want to protect your information. That's it. So that's how I feel about it. But are you still in cyber? Yeah, I'm still doing cyber stuff. I'm still doing interviews. Like I was doing a live yesterday on from I was doing DoorDash and then doing a live on TikTok, and then right as I'm doing it, I got a call back from a recruiter. Him and I have been going back and forth, so I should have something soon, but we'll see, right? And I've got some folks that have reached out and put my resume in with different organizations, so hopefully something pans out. But I'm still in cyber. You know, it's really my best skill just because I've been doing it so long. So what else am I gonna do? Be a carpenter? Like what? I don't have like anything else. I can't play basketball. I can't sing or dance. I'm screwed. Like all I know is cybersecurity. You know, God forbid there's an apocalypse because I'm not an expert at killing zombies. You know what I mean? Like all I know how to do is fix routers and shit, and that's it. uh, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for all of this. For all this love here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. I should probably say that more. And get my free book. It's available now for the next 5 days. Link in description, link in profile. Check it out. Promote your boy. I'm still doing this. I do this for y'all. So somebody said, how about sales? I've never really been directly in sales. I've been interacted with a sales team. So I don't really know about sales. Somebody said, which state are you in? I'm in Colorado. I'm new here. Wishing you the best. Thank you so much, Miss Privacy. I appreciate you. Um, Larry said, curious. Larry says, okay, let me see. You're curious. Um, have most here transitioned in some form of consulting, self-employed tech work? So he's wanting to know, have most of us transitioned to some form of consulting slash self-employed tech work? Um, I can only speak for myself. I've been doing some stuff outside, like the stuff that I'm doing here, you know, with the books and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the things that I do. Um, and I'm very open to doing. I have done before, like doing my own consulting when I'm contacted by different organizations, and I love to do that kind of stuff. It's really fun. But I wouldn't say that I'm doing that. You know, like I wouldn't call myself yet a consultant. I mean, like on my own, but I don't know what Black Ops is doing, or some of the other guys. I'm not sure. I mean, what do you guys say? Anybody else doing their own work here? I know that who was it? Dutch said he's doing his own thing and working for himself. Which shout out to him. That's awesome. And let me see. Somebody said, I need to start a YouTube channel and have Black Professor Black Ops on as a guest. He's cyber famous. He is definitely cyber famous. If you guys didn't know, shout out to Professor Black Ops. This man knows what he's talking about. So if you guys didn't know, I'm surprised more people don't know him. He's got some great information. Covers awesome topics that impact us on the real in the real world, and it's cybersecurity for the people. By the way, see, I watch, man. Let me see. Yeah, Larry, you should start your own, man. You could do like a project management channel. Security expert says I work for the feds from 1988. Then then looked into United Nations contract in the 90s. Wow. That's awesome, man. And for 2 years, then so you were in United Nations contract for in the late 90s for 2 years, then became a full-time contractor after that. Okay. That's an incredible resume. Nope, working for a company. I'm sure Professor Black Ops could do his own thing for sure. The UN is very interesting. Yes, I agree. I want to know more. I want to know more about that. Convo is bigger than me. I don't think so, man. the If you're talking about members, members don't mean a lot. I mean, members, the subscription on YouTube is one thing, but I would say watch time is a bigger thing. I put it to that way. Members do mean a lot, but what is bigger than that is watch time. And who's doing really good right now is Tech Woke. He's doing really good. The watch time numbers on that is good. Let me see. UN, man. I want to talk to you more about that. I'm interested. Okay, guys. I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will try to do more random ass lives since I got more time on my hands, but I really am trying to do something on the back end, like bigger things, right? And one of which is that release of that book. So go ahead and check it out, download it, love it, hate it, spit on it, whatever you got to do. But go click on that link because your boy needs some cash money about now. Yeah, so I got more stuff coming out. I've got to do more work on that stuff. That's what I do when I'm driving around in DoorDash. Sounds crazy to say, man. And watch time is brutal. Yeah, my watch time's not too good, man. But I don't know why people subscribe to me, but then don't watch my stuff. um, yeah, I mean, I just been doing this a long time, so I think my subscribers have gone up. And then I used to have another channel that did way better than this, and then I kind of transitioned. So maybe some of it's inflated because some of the people from there came over. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I got another question here. I guess I'll answer a couple more. Let me see. Somebody said, did I answer this one? In finance, any advice for DoD skill bridge? I'm not, you got to give me some context on that, brother, because I'm not sure. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. I got more stuff coming out. Keep watching. I'll do some more random ass lives and stuff since I got more time on my hands, but I really got to get this